Whether it's for attacking, generating mana, or activating an ability, every player in Magic is familiar with tapping a creature. But did you know that there's an untap symbol? Or that a simple mana dork with an untapping ability has created an entire combo deck in Modern? Of course, I'm talking about Vizier Druid. Vizier Druid is a creature-centric combo deck found in Modern that utilizes a unique interaction between the cards Devoted Druid and Vizier of Remedies. Devoted Druid is 1 green and 1 colorless for a 0/2 Elf Druid creature that has 2 abilities. Tap, add a green mana to your mana pool, and put a -1/-1 counter on Devoted Druid. Untap Devoted Druid. Vizier of Remedies is 1 white and 1 colorless for a 2/1 Human Cleric creature that has 1 effect. If 1 or more -1/-1 counters would be put on a creature you control, that many -1/-1 counters -1 are put on it instead. The deck's game plan is to generate infinite green mana using those 2 cards and then funnel that mana into a game-winning card. The 5 pieces you need to go off are Devoted Druid, Vizier of Remedies, Duskwatch Recruiter, a green mana source, and a white mana source. Here's how the combo works. Turn 1, play your green mana source. Turn 2, play your white mana source and cast your Devoted Druid. Turn 3, if your Druid has survived your opponent's turn, cast your Vizier of Remedies. Now you're set to go off. First, activate Devoted Druid's first ability to tap it to generate a green mana. Then, activate the Druid's secondary ability to place a -1/-1 counter onto it to untap it. Because Vizier of Remedies will reduce the amount of -1/-1 counters placed on one of your creatures by 1, this will place 0 counters onto your Druid, but still untap it. Now the loop is set up. You can tap the Druid to generate a green mana, untap it by placing a -1/-1 counter onto it, which gets reduced by 1 to 0, and then repeat the process to generate infinite green mana. You can then cast your Duskwatch Recruiter and funnel the infinite mana into its activated ability. This will dig you through your deck, adding every creature card along the way into your hand. You'll eventually find and then be able to cast an infinitely large Walking Ballista to shoot down your opponent and close out the game. The deck sometimes runs Finale of Devastation as an additional win con and tutor. Other versions of the deck run Kitchen Finks and Viscera Seer, which in conjunction with the Vizier can gain an infinite amount of life. This is accomplished by repeatedly sacrificing Kitchen Finks to Viscera Seer, having Kitchen Finks re-enter the battlefield with Persist, and having the -1/-1 counters reduced to 0. Then, because Kitchen Finks has entered the battlefield, you'll gain 2 life. Then, repeat the process to generate an infinite amount of life. Giver of Runes and Shalai, Voice of Plenty, help give the deck some much-needed protection from removal. Numerous tutors like Court of Calling, Eladamri's Call, Finale of Devastation, and even Collected Company give the deck consistency when finding the necessary combo pieces. Although Malira, Sylvalk Outcast, and Solemnity have similar effects to Vizier of Remedies, they actually prevent you from paying the cost of adding a -1/-1 counter to Devoted Druid to untap it, meaning that they prevent the combo from ever starting. The biggest downside of the deck is that the combo can be incredibly easy to disrupt. It is slow without a haste enabler and is incredibly fragile to removal. A single Path to Exile or a Thoughtseize can shut down an entire game. Although the deck can quickly sideboard in pieces to combat several different archetypes, the deck is not quite powerful enough to compete with most Tier 1 decks in the Modern format. The deck's flexible toolbox angle can appeal to players of the previous powerhouse, Birthing Pod. Who knew that giving a simple mana dork the ability to untap could be so powerful?